Hey everyone, and welcome back to my channel, or welcome if you are new. So we're just gonna dive right into today's topic, which I have done something kind of similar before. I'm gonna be talking about Disney on a budget. Now, I've kind of talked about how to save for Disney and how to budget your money kind of, but I don't think I've ever made a kind of video about doing Disney on a budget, because as a broke college student, that's important to me, that I can save as much money as possible. So let's get into it and let's talk Disney. Talk about is birthdays and Christmas. So the reason I bring that up is because if you have an upcoming Disney trip, it's probably a good thing if you might say to family members, hey, you know what I want for my birthday? You know what I want for Christmas? Because that is exactly what I did. Get them Disney gift cards, rack them up even a little bit, a $5 Disney gift card, not that you can buy that, but even a $25 Disney gift card. Do you know how many Mickey pretzels that can buy you? Not many, but enough, let me tell you. So basically, that's what I like to do. I like to ask for Disney gift cards and, sometimes Visa gift cards or just any bit of cash, kind of skip out on the presents and go for the cash that you can save up for a Disney trip. Or if you're going on a Disney trip, save for souvenirs and stuff while you're on your Disney vacation. That brings me to my next point, which is, if you have a store I know some people are Costco members, I personally am not, but any superstore like Costco or, wow, I can't even, Sam's Club, there we go, I can't even think of the other name, or Sam's Club, sometimes those stores have discounted Disney gift cards. So for example, I know I saw someone on a Facebook page the other day mentioning that right now at Costco, you could get a $500 Disney gift card for $484, which you're not saving that much, but when you think about it, the more you save, the better. And these gift cards can be used at, some restaurants, most souvenir gift shops. You can use it on food. I'm not entirely sure if you can use it at hotels. I mean, at hotel gift shops, I'm sure you can, but I'm not quite sure on that one, but you can use the gift cards on a lot of things, so they do come in handy. The next point is the big debate on driving or flying. Personally, I don't see it really saving you too much money in the long run, depending on how many people you are traveling with and where you're traveling from. So personally, I'm from Maryland, so driving to Florida isn't terrible, but I always choose to fly, specifically because these last few trips have been just me, so paying for one ticket versus maybe a family of 5, it might make more sense to drive. So depending on your family size and, kind of also what you want out of an airline, because I always fly Southwest. I know some people who fly Frontier. There are some people who would not ever fly Frontier. Some people rely heavily on Delta or American Airlines, and they can be more pricey, plus paying for baggage. So kind of just weigh the pros and cons of each, and that's kind of more, to me, a personal decision on which you're more comfortable with and which actually is going to save you more money, because I feel like the answer is different for many people. Which brings me to the next thing. If you are flying with an airline such as Delta or American Airlines or another big name airline where you have to pay for baggage, I would highly recommend kind of underpacking and seeing how much you can fit into a carry-on so you don't have to pay the extra baggage fees. The next tip is to go at an off-peak time. This is the best for so many reasons, not only for budgeting purposes, but the crowds are a lot less crowded when you go in, say, January or February versus the middle of July. Also, weather differences. There are a lot of good things about going at off-peak times, but I do understand that, taking kids out of school isn't always gonna happen, depending on your job. Maybe you can't get off during a certain time. So I understand that it doesn't work for everybody, but if you can go at an off-peak season, that is definitely the better option. The next tip is to bypass the meal plan, because your meal plans, I don't know. I hear some people like them. Personally, the only time I've ever done a meal plan was last August when it was free and included with our hotel stay. And I just overall wasn't, I mean, I liked it because it was free, but I never really ate all of my food. And now that it includes alcohol, I can see why it would be a little more appealing and more bang for your buck. But even then, I just feel like I do better when I can eat at my own pace and not have to worry about spending enough snack credits or just eating all my meals. Personally, when I went to visit my friend in March, that's when I'm going now, in January, I probably ate, this sounds terrible, but I probably ate 2 actual meals the whole time I was there because I was just snacking. But I saved so much money snacking because, you know, if you buy a pretzel and that's my lunch, and then maybe for dinner I go and I get, you know, some nachos, or I don't know. I found that it saved me a lot of money. Plus we didn't do any sit-down restaurants, which I know for some that's important that you do sit-down restaurants. With my family, we love to do sit-down restaurants, so I understand that. But it also could save you money if you don't. So just really budget in for how much you want to spend on food. Always make sure you budget a little more because you never really know. But personally, I recommend just not doing the dining plan and snacking when you're hungry, because also when you're like running around from fast pass to fast pass to this to that to character meet and greets to parades to fireworks, sometimes you forget to eat. And if you have a meal plan, you kind of can't afford to forget to eat because that's already paid for. So then you feel guilty. And then you always see those people at the end of their trip that have like a giant bag, no shame, of like chips and like Mickey like ice cream bars just stacked up because they didn't use any snack credits. So I just think it's not really worth it. Next up is to stay on property. Now this saves you in multiple ways. If you stay on property, you can, if you fly, get the Magical Express to your resort. If not, you're just gonna drive straight to your resort. You already have a car, no big deal. Then once you're at the resort, take the buses, take their transportation. Although it's not the fastest, it does save you rather than, you know, taking Ubers, which if you Uber, you could always Uber like when you need it occasionally, but renting a car, that's an extra cost. If you do drive, you're paying for gas again while you're already there. And another piece that goes along with that is also the fact that when you stay on Disney property, for the amount of days you're staying, your ticket price options get lower and lower in price. So the first day you might be paying a certain price for a ticket, and then the next day they might knock $5, $10 off, and then so on and so on. So by doing all of that, you are saving money. And like I said, with Disney transportation being there and you having transportation to the airport, from the airport, if you're flying, it's just a huge perk. And I just find it is so much easier to stay on Disney property than off of Disney property. Not that that's not an option, because for some people that might be a better option, especially if you are driving and you're gonna have a car and there's really no need for you to be on Disney property and you're only there for a short amount of time. Maybe it will be worth it. Which brings me to my next thing. If you want to save money at Disney, there are so many cool things to do at Disney. Aside from the parks and the water parks, there is golf. There is Disney Springs for shopping, just walking around Disney Springs. There is resort hopping, exploring all of the resorts. There's just so much to see in Disney that I feel like you could definitely budget on a Disney vacation by not going to the parks every single day. Now, once again, if you're not staying on property, that might be an even better option to go, you know, see all the resorts and stuff. But yeah, personally, I love to resort hop and love to look at all of the free things around Disney. So definitely that is another option to save money. Another way to save money, kind of going back to the food, is to bring your own food. And even if you don't want to bring full-on food, bringing snacks. I did that with my friend because, you know, sometimes you're standing in line for Space Mountain and you just really need a granola bar. So then you can pull out a granola bar. You saved money, you saved time, and it's just altogether great. I'm not the type of person who would necessarily pack full-on meals into the park, but once again, you can do that. You're allowed to do that. So by all means, go for it. And, you know, for some people who splurge on staying at like the Grand Floridian or the Contemporary in those suites that have kitchens, some of them will literally just stock up on food there and go back to their resort to eat and save little bits of money so that they can stay at a better resort. There's so many different ways to budget, and budgeting doesn't necessarily mean that you're doing Disney on very low, you know, money that you can't stay at a better resort, because that is one way to do it. You know, spend that extra money going to a higher level resort, going to a deluxe resort, or you could stay at a value and have a longer trip. So it's really, budgeting is how you perceive it and how you want to do it. I just wanted to give some tips and some tricks that I personally use to save money when I go to Disney. Yeah, that is it for this video. If you liked it, make sure to give it a thumbs up and subscribe, and I will see you guys next time. Bye.